What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, I know a lot of y'all are probably tired of hearing this topic discussed on YouTube. I'm sure, but I want to dive into this topic in a different way. I've discussed this topic on my channel a few times over the years. I think I last discussed this type of topic some months ago, probably like 3 months ago or something like that. But I want to take another dive into the topic. So the homie Nana KB, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Nana. He DM'd me something on Instagram, right? On my Instagram page, he DM'd me this video of this 33-year-old man, right? Brother on the street, black man. He's on the street. He's getting interviewed. I'm putting interviewed in air quotes because it could be staged. But I just want to tell y'all what was going on in the video. The interviewer stops and asks him how old he is. He says, I'm 33. He asks the brother, are you single? He says, no, I'm married. And he said, how long you been married for? He said, like, since 2017, right? He said, oh, so you've been married about 8 years now. What is the key to keeping your marriage together? He says the key is paying 100% of everything. Paying all the bills, paying 100% of everything, right? And then he says, basically, his woman don't work no job, and he don't want her to work no job because, you know, if she works a job for another man, he telling her what she can wear, what time she got to report, what time she can leave. He like, no, she got one husband. She needs to be just listening to me as her husband, right? And then he said, so you need to pay all. He basically, the interviewer asked him, so paying 100% of everything is the key. He like, yeah, a man's job is to provide. If you can't provide, you ain't no man. Right? So basically he's saying, man, look, I pay 100% of everything, and that's how I keep my marriage together. And let's get into this topic, man, because this is leading back to these 50-50 debates that black folks have all the time. And the only reason I'm addressing this is because a lot of men have been made out to be less than, less than in reference to our predecessors, in reference to our grandfathers and fathers and uncles and great uncles and so on and so forth. A lot of men have been made out to be less than. And I really want to address this for real. So I found a brother on Twitter. His name is Xavier C. Miller. I want to give him his credit. His name is Xavier C. Miller. He made a tweet addressing all of the 50-50 babble and, you're not a man if you can't pay 100% of the bills. He addressed all of this, right? And he starts talking about the differences in between generations and, the times that we were living in when we were first born and the times of today. He says in 1990, the average home price was $120,000. The average mortgage payment was $650. The average rent was $370. The average car note with insurance was $230. The average cost of tuition at a public university was $1,800 per year, right? He says in 1990, the average daycare cost was $200. Also, the average salary in 1990 was $30,000, okay? Now, in 2025, today's times, he says the average home is $420,000. The average mortgage is $2,500. He says the average rent is $2,000. The average cost of tuition at a public university is $27,000 per year. The average monthly daycare cost is $1,200, right? The average salary is $55,000. Okay? So basically what he's telling you with this information, he goes on and basically lays it all out for people. The cost of living has tripled at least, right? And 10 to 15 times in most cases, while wages haven't even doubled for most people in a time span of 35 years. So the cost of living has tripled at least, for real. And in most cases, wages haven't even doubled for most people in a time span of 35 years, right? He says there is no way the average American can keep up with the cost of living and inflation. To get ahead in most households today, both people in the relationship will have to work to chip in. This isn't the 60s and 90s anymore, where you could feed an entire family on factory worker income. If you're making average money and you're with someone who isn't willing to take on some financial responsibility, you'll never get ahead, right? He then goes on to say, man, our parents, grandparents, and uncles, they weren't better providers than men are today. They just lived in a more affordable and simpler society. And I know some people are gonna say, well, they made much less than men do today, and that's true. But even though they made less, they were able to save more after expenses. You feel me? So basically, what I want to lay this out, I'm saying this, it's not men's fault. Like, we're not terrible providers now, and that's why we not paying 100% of everything. Times have changed. Like he said, man, the cost of living has damn near tripled, and most wages haven't even doubled for most people. You know what I mean? So with that being said, like, I wanna lay this out to y'all, man. I should have looked up how much cable was in 1990, but I know now. Do you know my father, my auntie, and them had to cancel their cable subscriptions because it's like, yo, it's damn near almost $300 a month for cable, basic cable, okay? Basic cable. So let's get that out the way. Then, of course, we got all these subscriptions, but you need a subscription for everything. It's not like one, like Netflix covers everything. Hulu don't cover everything. Even if you want to watch sports, NBA TV and League Pass, two different things, right? Then your woman might want to watch something on Amazon Prime. She might want to watch something on Stars. You might want to watch something on Paramount. You might want to watch, the kids might want to watch something on Disney Plus. And that's just some minuscule stuff, right? And then we start thinking about all this other stuff, right? Like again, he broke down the cost of the average home, gas prices, cost of car notes. I told you, my homie Derek Jones told me, my boy Derek got one child. He was paying $2,000 in Maryland for his daughter to go to daycare. $2,000 a month. That is crazy. And to God be the glory, Derek could afford it, but he still was getting hit. He was like, yo, it's still burning my pockets. Now, Derek got a PhD in mathematics. This is a brother from the Mississippi Delta. They got a PhD in mathematics. And it still was killing him to pay this $2,000, even though he got a great job making good money because rent was high, car note high. You know what I mean? Everything is super expensive. So I think when people try to, make men seem like we're not good providers now, people got to take everything into consideration. You know, the American dream is a lie. It is. People get sold that, oh, if you just work hard, work till your fingers fall off, work till you get off you can see the bones on your fingers, you'll make it everything just do in society. You'll make it in society if you just work really, really hard and work tirelessly. No, that's not the case. You can work till your damn till your knees give out, and it still won't be enough for you to live comfortably. A lot of times, man, the CEOs, they up there getting fat, while the workers out here trying to get overtime in order just to make ends meet. You know? So when people say, hey man, you ain't no man if you want to pay 100% of everything, I really want to put this in perspective, man. Especially if you're a black man. A lot of black men, I gotta look it up. I guarantee you, most black men, the average black man does not even make $50,000. The average black man probably make $43,000, $44,000, something like that. Okay? $40,000, depending on where you living, ain't nothing. It's not. And I'm not trying to say that to trash anybody, because I've been there. You feel me? And even at my last job, I wasn't too far off. Like, I wasn't like way out of that range. I was above it decently, but I wasn't like just astronomically out of that pay range. But I was above it though. But still. You know what I mean? And this is coming from a brother. I went and got degreed up and went and got my bachelor's degree, master's degrees. Brothers today are much more educated than the men of our past years. You know, brothers back then could work at General Motors and make a killing. Sisters could too. Now, man, it's just not the same thing. It's not. And I think people have to understand that. But what happens is, you know, a lot of this soft life content and these dating content has made people lose what's the word? Lose grasp on reality. Because right now, if you tell a brother, again, I think the average black man probably made like $44,000. You tell a brother right now, if you ain't paying all the bills, you ain't no man. And if he tries to live up to that expectation, that brother probably gonna he probably gonna die young due to stress and all of that come with trying to keep up and appease his woman and appease a lifestyle that she believes she should be living because social media is telling her to do so. I want to say this to everybody, man. Y'all live within your means, okay? Do what's best for you. If you can live and if you make a lot of money and you can afford to do that, because there's some brothers that are making some really big money and doing great things, and they blessed to be in their position. But not every brother is caked up like that. Not every brother works for a Fortune 500 company. Not every brother works in corporate America. Not every brother got their own business where they just super caked up and they can just sit back with their legs and feet up in the air. Not every brother has that lifestyle, right? And if you're a brother that's, again, making average money and you getting expected to pay all these bills, what? Man, listen, you're going to stress yourself out. Brothers gonna be having strokes left and right. A lot of brothers already having strokes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers gonna be young, trying to keep up with this soft life and gonna be just all in bad shape, losing all their hair. Brothers gonna be out here, it's just gonna be crazy. And so I think people need to understand, man, society has changed now. You can't expect everybody to pay 100% of everything all the time now. It's just different lifestyle, man. I told y'all, my boy got a PhD in mathematics, working with John Hopkins. And still was like, yo, this is killing me. He got one child paying $2,000 a month in daycare fees, daycare costs, $2,000 a month for a little bitty baby, one child. You know, and again, I just read to y'all in 1990, the average daycare price was $200. Now he said in 2025, the average daycare price is what? What did he say? Average daycare is $1,200. Right? My boy was paying over that, $2,000. You know, so I think, yeah, that don't make you less of a man if you can't pay every single thing. It's just, man, we living in different times, man. Like I said, like he said in his tweet, brothers back then could make a killing off factory money and take care of 3, 4, 5 kids. Man, what? I be wondering, I got 2 children. I would be in trouble in California. I would be in trouble in New York City. You know what I mean? And some brothers probably don't want to have families because of how expensive it is to live in certain places in certain areas, you know, where they're already living, you know? And everybody can't just pick up and just go to another state just immediately with the snap of a finger. So some people be like, just moves. It ain't that easy for everybody. Everybody ain't got the funds to just up and move and uproot out of nowhere. But yeah, man, I just think, man, people got to do what's best for them. If you can do that, cool. But everybody, it's not suitable for everybody. You know, your granddad, when granddad and them was living, man, listen, it just was everything was different, man. Times were completely different. Now I know people who the man paid the rent, he paid all the big bills, the rent or the mortgage, he paid a car note, he paid some other stuff. He might pay if the school kid got tuition, he might pay the tuition or whatever, and then the woman pay the cable bill or the internet bill, because a lot of people don't have cable no more. She might pay the phone bill or something like that, you know, but the man paid a big bill. So whatever is best suited for you. But I just want to put it into perspective that men aren't lazy today because they ain't paying 100% of everything, man. It's just times have changed. Things have gotten harder. I always say this, man. You know how many people? Yeah, and the men I know, they paid for the groceries and all of that. And speaking of groceries, I always say this: people window shopping in the grocery store because stuff is just way too expensive. You know. So before we start saying, "Oh, men ain't like the men back in the day," man, men back in the day, they was making factory money and was having a wife and kids and women on the side with a whole nother kid across town and able to cover with their factory money. Times is different now, man. And the American dream is a lie, and that's the problem. We've been sold a falsehood. All right.